Overlag.
It happens.
Nothing you can do about it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Nonetheless, we didn't really discuss man of the match, but before we do that, for you streamers down there, I've just had a little note, and a tiny little bird has just told me that Armand Meers is the proud winner of 20 gigabytes of mobile data. Keep your eyes peeled on that stream. We are going to be giving away more.
We didn't do the drum roll. We have to go.
Oh, you need more drum roll. Armand Meers. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, and if I'm not, I'm terribly sorry. Nonetheless, man of the match for the previous game. We have a lot of candidates. I feel that things went particularly pear-shaped for the side of Sin 5, mostly due to the Axe late Blink Dagger. So who's responsible for that? Maybe that's the...
God damn you, Axe. No. When they tried their best. The man of the match for me... Malkis was good. Game Reaper was also good. I think Game Reaper for me made most of the rotations, most of the plays happen, kind of got into everyone's faces.
And he was the spy.
He was the spy. And you love your Team Fortress.
I do,
you know that he
but I love my Dota more.
You love your Dota more, yeah. Voodoo for me, he played a really good jug, but he also had a lot of help from his supports. So I think man of the matches go to the supports in my point of view. And obviously, I mean, you've got the carries coming online, like the firebolts. So I don't know what I can say here for man of the match. I don't feel like, I think they all work together pretty well. I don't know. I'm not calling a man of the match.
Come on. Pick one.
No, I don't want to.
Come on.
I want all. I don't want one. I want all of it.
Well, if I had to pick a guy, I'd say Game Reaper.
You would say Game Reaper?
Yeah.
Just because you like him, that's it.
It's more like I like the way he played.
Yeah, you like the way he played. Yeah, fair enough. Game Reaper made some plays, but I mean, you can't dismiss that Dazzle. That Dazzle was...
He was... Okay.
Positioning was good, and he saved people when he needed to save people. I mean, he made me laugh with these preemptive shallow graves, so thumbs up for that.
So you get her man of the match just because you made him laugh?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, with that in tow, let's get straight into the draft, shall we? It's going to be Faceless Void banned out by Top K, and joining him in the ban pool, Shadow Demon and Riki yet again from the side of Sinister 5.
Yeah, well, pretty standard bans.
Why are these so standard?
Okay, well, Riki's your new bounty on steroids, for one. Yes, he doesn't get you the gold advantage, but I mean, that silence, that early backstab, I mean, he can transition into a nice carry, and he can do quite a lot without items. So, I mean, annoying hero nonetheless, and also forces out the supports to buy vision. Then you have Shadow Demon, which stacks really well with Aluna, with, you know, any illusion-based hero. And then, of course, you've got the Void is there to just disable everyone. And for me, it's one of the top-tier bans right now as well. And then Silencer coming out yet again. And you know my views on Silencer. He's cancerous in game. He really is. And he does so much on the map, and it forces out items.
I really don't know if it warrants a first phase
Have
ban.
you ever played against a really good Silencer?
Yes, I know. It's incredibly difficult, incredibly
annoying. I mean, as a support, he throws one spell. You know, he has his right click, and the support's dead. I mean, the global silence is pretty devastating in the middle of a team fight, especially early game when they don't have the items to, you know. So you essentially commit to a team fight, and then he just drops global silence, and you end up running away and losing a few heroes on the sidelines. So Silencer for me is a very, very strong hero, and especially if he's played mid.
I don't know. I feel like there's bigger things out there. I mean, we saw the Drow, we saw the Outworld Devourer. Unfortunately, the Outworld Devourer not really living up to its expected standard.
Yeah, he kind of traded evenly in that lane with the Sand King, which shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, nonetheless, Ogre Magi picked up in the hands of Sinister 5, so Game Reaper's going to have to look to a new hero here. We'll see what his versatility is like. Knowing him, very versatile. But he will be looking for something that can fulfill the same role as last time. Yes, I get to have my Disruptor come up for myself. Love this hero. Great for picking people off after a team fight, making sure they can't get away with the glimpse. And, of course, my favorite action, the Fountain Glimpse.
I was about to go, dun it, dun it. Wilson Fountain Glimpse.
Ah. What's in Fountain Glimpse? Okay. Nonetheless, he's fantastic for a number of reasons. In
Oh,
the
yeah.
early game, he's a kiting specialist with the kinetic field and the glimpse. In the later stages of the game, and certainly once he gets to that level 6 mark, the second he hits level 6, he's going to be start looking for kills across the map.
Yeah,
He makes
especially.
use of the static storm to secure yourself a team fight in the later stages,
Yep.
but also secure yourself the kills in the early stages, where you can set it all up with a fat, good glimpse. He's joined by the Lion, however.
The Lion also very devastating here, and if he gets an Aghanim Scepter and you get a Static Storm into that, it's just, you know, you basically have a 5-man, 4-man finger into Static Storm. That's pretty devastating team fight as it is, but you're going to have to get that Aghanim Scepter up on the Lion.
Not going to
But
happen.
it will happen.
Really?
It will happen.
Okay,
I
here's
think-
my bet, boys
I
and girls.
think- oh,
He's
just-
not going to be able to get that Aghanim Scepter.
I don't think so. I think Disruptor will take the position 5 here, because Disruptor can do... yes. Don't give me the sad face. It's
Oh.
going to happen. I am sorry.
That's fine. No one can see my sad face.
No, but I mean, seriously, you have the Disruptor that can do so much in the game without items. I mean, he's got all the spells there for him. Then you've got the Lion taking on the position 4, which he gets his fast Blink Dagger into Aghanim Scepter, whatever it may be. Maybe a Guardian Greaves. Maybe we get a utility hero next to get the Guardian Greaves up, so Lion can focus on his Blink Axe.
Yeah.
But I
Correct
mean,
me.
early blink on Ags, lol. Early blink on a Lion is pretty devastating, and we can blink Hex. It's instant cast. I mean,
Yes.
it can easily pick off heroes, and it's good against heroes like Axe, like Ogre, disable, chicken on their heads, basically. But Axe is also, in the same breath, very good against them. He catches out these supports early, they're pretty much dead. If he gets his Blink Dagger.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. This is a rather old school style of draft coming through from the side of Top K, picking up both supports as their first 2 picks.
Yeah, well, it leaves Sinister wondering, okay, now what the hell are they going to do? Because if you leave your cores for later, they're kind of guessing of what they need to pick or ban here. So you can kind of have a sneaky pick, like you got your whole draft going, and then you can have like a sneaky Storm Spirit pick or a sneaky Magnus pick, or just something that completely blows the draft, the enemy team's draft out of the water.
Well, speaking of drafting, Drow Ranger taken out by the side of Sinister 5, and joining her will be the Dark Seer. On the other side of the coin, however, it's going to be the Dazzle taken out by Top K, as well as the Oracle. Now, that Dazzle did do a fair amount of work in the previous game, but unfortunately, he was always forced into shallow graving targets that, basically, like
Out of
supports,
position.
out of position. He was forced into these shallow graves, which didn't have as much effect as they perhaps should have. And the Watermelon rolls onto the field in the form of the Tide Hunter. Great for team fights. Resets the team fight with a good placed Ravage. And, of course, great for initiation if he does opt to pick up that Blink Dagger.
And there's your Greaves carrier.
Yep.
So I mean,
Now, the question I have for you is, are we going to be seeing a first item Blink out of this Tide Hunter?
No,
or
no,
are we
no,
going to
no.
see the mech into Blink eventually?
No, honestly, like, if you go into high-level play right now, you do not see a Tide ever going Blink first these days. It's just not something you do. You go you go into your Mana Boots into Mech, then you'll Blink into your Guardian Greaves. It's just, you can, especially if you got something to combo up with it, you can, with your Kraken Shell, you can just kind of walk into a fight and just get your ulti off anyway, because that Kraken Shell allows so much to happen for him. I mean, yeah, they can disable him, they can nuke him, but he's always going to get that Tide Hunter ulti off, irrespective of what they do. So, I mean, Blink is not really that necessary on him. Early mech is a way more powerful thing on him. And it
I
leaves
see.
a Lion open to get a Blink of his own. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just good. And then we have a Timbersaw. Timbersaw, very, very hard hero to deal with early game, especially if he gets fast levels. He can just, blow up everything on the map.
That's why we often see him parked in the off lane or mid lane
I would
position.
say mid. I would put the Tide Hunter in the off lane position right now.
Yes, most likely.
Yeah.
Well, if you put him in the off lane, where the hell are you going to put this Tide? You could put him farming in the jungle, but it's not all that nice.
You could do a mid Tide Hunter. We've seen it happen.
That would be a sight.
It
I
would-
haven't
I-
seen
I've
that.
seen it happen in
I
top
haven't
tier
seen
play.
that in so long.
It's been a while. Yes, it's been a while. But I don't see that happening. I see a Timbersaw mid, Tide Hunter off lane, and I see a tri-lane happening with
Tri-lane.
a tri-lane happening with a carry. But it also leaves up, Lion and Disruptor to rotate into mid and, get those early kills on other lanes that are struggling a bit. But then we see an Alchemist pick. Alchemist, I feel like he's going to suffer with all the nuke damage on the side of Top Kick. I mean,
Well, it just means that Sinister 5 is going to be looking for the long haul. And unfortunately, I'm not sure that side of Top K is really going to give it to them. They've got heroes that like to get up and in your face very, very quickly, namely Timbersaw. Lion, heavy nuke in the early stages of the game means he wants to roam around. At level 6, level 7 mark, he's already running around trying to make kills happen.
Yep.
Disruptor, similar story. And there's a pace slower in the form of a Bane, and that is a hero I haven't seen used competitively in quite some time.
Yeah, but the Bane's going to have to watch his positioning here. There's so many things that can dispel, he can't exactly stand YOLO, ulti people. Because, I mean, you've got a Lion that can disable him, you've got a Disruptor that can disable him, and you've got the Tidehunter as well. So his positioning is going to have to be key. And instantly the ban comes up for the Mirana. So you don't want to see a Kitty Bane combo, which is normally when the Bane gets picked, you go, it's going to be a Kitty or a Pudge or, something to that effect.
Wouldn't that be fun? I'd love to see a Pudge. If they can hear me right now, please pick a Pudge. No,
yeah,
it wouldn't go well.
The Ogre Axe Alchemist, it's pretty devastating. I mean, you get maybe 1 or 2 levels in your Battle Hunger with Ogre Magi's Ignite, then not to mention spin into Bloodlust. Any ouchies happening over there? Then you've got Alchemist who, if you can't get an attack speed item early, you've still got Bloodlust to back that up. So, I mean, it's a good combo, but I don't know how it will fare into a Lion Disruptor Tidehunter, and we're still yet to see the last pick of Top Cave. So
I've got to be honest, I don't see what the Bane does for Sin 5.
I don't see what the Bane does here. We'll have to see their rationale behind that, but I think they may be anticipating a Storm Spirit or, a hero that is hard to catch, so the Bane is going to be used for that. But like I said, if his positioning is not right, I mean, you got the Tidehunter, you got the Ravage that can, it's got quite a bit of range. So, I mean, he's going to have to stand way back and possibly get an Ether Lens to counteract that. Then you've got a potential line with Blink Dagger. Then you've got a Disruptor with your Glimpse into, Static Storm and essentially an AoE Doom if he gets Aghanim's, which I doubt it will happen because he's going to be playing that poor position 5 role. And we have an OD again getting picked up here. So no, I do not see where the Bane fits, but I can see the rationale behind it. I just don't see how he's going to get his ulti off and how he might get a Nightmare or 2, but I don't think he's going to get his Fiend's Grip off that often. And I think it's going to get cancelled often.
He's gonna struggle to keep it going, especially in the middle of a team fight. But I think the purpose of that is more for pickoffs, and that is really what he's going to be used for here.
Yeah.
Outworld Devourer, however, tried, true, and tested hero. And obviously with the Intel steal, that's going to make Timbersaw's life incredibly difficult as well.
If he's going to go against Timbersaw mid, Timbersaw's not going to be able to harass him that often. But we see it Ursa getting picked up here. Very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed, especially if the Axe gets that blade mail. It's going to hurt. Ursa's not going to be able to attack him that much. And, they've also got the Bane to counteract him as well. He just sleeps him and there goes Ursa. So, I mean, Ursa's been described as that giant bear that never quite gets his hand inside the cookie jar because he kind of gets kited in games. He can't really jump on people. So I see him having to go for an Abyssal Blade, I mean, to be honest, unless he's got the Lion to back him up. But again, if the Axe calls the right people, then the Bane can disable. And the Alchemist can go in, and the OD. So both very good drafts here. I would love to see how it's going to get played, because there's disadvantages and advantages to both here. Ursa, however, not a very versatile carry. He does get kited.
Oh.
So we'll have to see. I don't know. What do you think about it?
I think Top K has the game in the bag. It's their game to lose with the draft they find themselves with. It's just a lot more going on there. There's a fair amount of mobility, and of course there's a lot of manipulation of the enemy team's positioning thanks to that Disruptor as well. Nonetheless, we shall see how it all pans out in the end. For the Radiant for Game 2, with Top K already 1 game in the bag, they're going to go for the second game. DJ Vega is going to lead them on the Ursa towards the bottom lane here. Melkis is going to be picking up that Disruptor, keen to see what he can bring to the field. Aghanim on the Timbersaw, Game Reaper on the Lion, and last but certainly not least, walking his way, or rather waddling his way towards that top lane, is going to be Porter on that Tidebringer.
And this time on the side of the die, played by Sin 5, We have Voodoo on that Alchemist, using his little taunt there, being very cute. We have ABV on that lovely Ogre Magi. General Grootwors playing the axe yet again. Fing Fang now on your Bane. And last but not least, we have Cloud on the OD. I must mention, with the Bane against also a Tide Hunter, it's not really that effective. He can't actually ulti the Tide because Kraken Shell, GG, well played. So that's going to be interesting to see as well. I don't know how they're going to disable this Tide Hunter. It's going to have to be on the Axe's head. Or the OD getting a scythe.
Yeah, look, generally when you pick up an axe, it's a lot riding on him. He is, for the most part, responsible for controlling the tempo of the game for you on the side of Sin 5 here. A lot does rest on him, particularly this game, because of what he's up against. You do want to get to that back line. You do want to take care of this Disruptor before he can drop his Static Storm. You do want to take care of Game Reaper on his Lion there before he starts spamming out the disables across your team. So, yes, I'd say a lot rests on him, but there's a lot more to be said about what's going to happen with this Ogre.
Yeah, but he can't ulti the Tide Hunter. The Kraken Shell's just going to debuff it.
Well, look, this is a classic combination: the Ogre Magi and the Axe.
No, that is definitely, it's a bully lane. Like I'm talking specifically about the Bane here. He's not going to be able to accomplish much in disabling a Tide.
I think he's a bit of a placeholder here.
I don't understand the rationale. I do understand it, but I also don't understand it. It's okay, but there could have been way better heroes for them to pick here.
We'll do like Crystal Maiden and just kind of like let it go. Nonetheless, Fling Flang, he's going to have to work extra hard on that Bane because the draft doesn't quite support him. Taking a look at the mid lane here, Melkis is in the mid lane, dropping a Thunderstrike already, so obviously trying to buy Aghanim a little bit of lane dominance in the early stages, but I suspect he's not going to stay here for all that much longer.
No, I don't think so. I think he's going to get some harassing done. I think he's maybe potentially seeing, but it does look like Fing Fang's on the ball here. Just dropped a nice little cute observer ward on the heel there, so it's going to give Cloud a little bit of vision, and then him doing the same. Melky's doing exactly the same, but a bit of an obvious ward there for me from the side of Top K. I think Cloud would have spotted that immediately. I mean, what the hell do you think a support's doing over there? So I think that's going to be de-warded as soon as possible if he did see it. I mean, that was a pretty obvious ward to me.
Take a look at the laning choices from the side of Sin 5. Nobody in this bottom lane for them. Top K, free reign, Game Reaper just sapping XP. And I don't know if that's all that great an idea. Leaving him utterly unattended. I mean, that's a full lane of XP that you're just leaving alone. And instead, you've stuck the Axe in the jungle here.
Yeah, well, Axe
couldn't go into that lane. I grant you that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have an absolutely nightmarish time up against Game Reaper on the Lion, and of course DJ Vega on the Ursa. I grant you that. But I mean,
yeah, well, for me, it makes a lot of sense because if you're going to put your Axe against that lineup, he's just going to continue feeding the whole time. So, I mean, rather give him a bit of advantage within the jungle, let him get his levels and farm up, and then he can do a bit more later in the game. But it does, however, it does say, okay, well, we're going to give the enemy carry free reign over farm, but like I said, they can kite the Ursa.
And it also leads to this kind of nonsense where the supports are free to do as they wish because they don't need to babysit that lane. So I fully expect Top K to get very aggressive in the early stages of the game and make a lot of kills happen here.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna actually go look for the Axe.
Or either look for the Axe or turn around and go for Cloud.
I think he's gonna be dead here.
They find the Axe and Melkis immediately goes for the Thunderstrike. Axe too low to really survive it any further. And there's your first blood. Very uneventful, very sad, I'm afraid. And this is it. You can't just ditch a lane. It just frees up too many supports for the side of Top K here.
But shame. It's very good foresight of them. They're like, okay, where's the Axe? He's not here, so let's go looking for him in the jungle because that's exactly what they wanted to avoid. They wanted to avoid the Axe dying all the time in this offlane. But it does look like he's like, okay, well, to hell with it. I'm going to TP here now. And he's also got his Star Shield. He's got his Iron Talons. So I mean, he's got his work cut up from here. But it does look like huge rotations coming out of the mid. They're trying to go on Cloud. Ooh, and he gets glimpsed. your best maneuvers. They do try TPing someone else, but he decides to cancel that TP. You do see the supports back off now.
Yeah, the supports are happy with what they've walked away with here. They're going to take their earnings and run. They know that the Axe is back into this bottom lane, and Axe is happy to take a fight as long as there is nobody else molesting him from the sidelines, which there will be soon.
Double damage Lion on the way.
Well, double damage Lion, it's not so much for the double damage I'm afraid of, it's more the disables he's going to bring to the field, buy Ursa the time to do what he does best and just rip the man apart.
Yeah. I mean, that Ursa sitting with, 1,400k in his stash there. So, I mean, he could possibly go for an early blink.
Little rotation here. The smoke does pay off. They do manage to catch Aghanim. Aghanim looking for the trees. He does manage to find them. There's the sleep. It's going to buy them a little bit more time. Not going to be quite enough. He's going to pop himself the fairy fire, and that buys him all the HP back. And ultimately, that rotation not paying off, but at least they're giving him something to think about.
They do give him something to think about, but I mean, this Ursa is going to have his Vlads up very, very soon. Does look like they do continue to try go onto Aghanim here. Oh, Game Reaper coming with a double stun. I think this is going to be a return kill on the poor Ogre Magi if he's not careful.
Sleep is good, but it does get transferred down to the Lion from Aghanim there. Not too bad an idea. He's going to pick up a few right clicks from Cloud. That's really what he doesn't want to have happen. That's 18 intelligence that he's going to sorely miss if he does need to spend it across the way. In the meantime, though, Voodoo's farming at a rate of knots. He's topping the last hits chart at 32 for 12 and picking up jungle creeps to boot. So he's very, very happy with the current state of the game. And if things continue this way, Sin 5 are going to have a very strong ally in the form of the Alchemist.
Yeah, they're going to have a very strong ally in the form of the Alchemist, but Top K's rotations have been absolutely phenomenal so far in the last 5 minutes of this game, or in this game, the total of 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
No, but they really have been excellent with their rotations, and it does look like the Game Reaper and Mulkey's now smoke up yet again. That axe is extremely low. If they do catch his axe, he's going to die again, but I don't think they're going to do it. So, yeah, they are trying their best to look for him, but they're not going to catch him, unfortunately. Nonetheless, moving on. Now we've got this Aghanim here in the mid lane on this Timbersaw. He's now got level 3 in reactive armor, so OD is going to be hitting him, and he's going to regen faster than he can do damage. So it becomes extremely annoying.
I agree, but the problem with getting hit by this guy in particular is that he does sap your intelligence, which Aghanim really needs to keep a hold of.
Yeah, he really does. And the fact that he can stack it up there with the imprisonment, I mean, it does do a lot of damage the more int he steals as well. So it's just going to be doing way more damage than it should be. And especially because it's against a strength hero, OD kind of really fares well against it.
Well, we saw General Grootborst play the axe last game. So far, so good, although he is still behind on his blink here. Unfortunately, he's being chased across the map, and it has either a very difficult lane or it can expect 2 supports to come chasing after him. The trick really is just to delay it as best as you can, that Blink Dagger on him. But obviously the side of Sin 5 knows this, so what can they do differently?
I'm not sure, but we've got a Blink Dagger on this Ursa now, and he instantly dodges that Ignite from poor AVB. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I would have expected to see early Vlads coming out of him, but early Blink, it looks like they want to get very aggressive very early.
Getting that early mobility is always fantastic, and it's also, let's not forget, a good slow that he can pop if he does get into the middle of a team fight. That 25% slow for 4 seconds doesn't seem like a lot, but it does buy him the time.
It's a lifetime in a fight.
Yeah, it's an age of man. It's a veritable age of man in the middle of a fight. And it's going to buy everybody else the time to do what they do best, particularly this Tidehunter who does want to get into position before popping his Ravage.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, going back to the Alchemist, being kind of, uncontested, it doesn't matter who you are, an Alchemist will always get farm thanks to that Greevil's greed. I mean, he can be doing really well, he can be doing really, really, poorly and still manage to find farm because guess what? It's an Alchemist. So, I mean, he is doing exceptionally well here, and it is something to worry about, but I do feel like Top K have the heroes to deal with an Alchemist. They have very good heroes to deal with him, so it's going to be a hard game for Voodoo nonetheless, but he is doing exceptionally good, and, I would expect the Tidehunter to do a little bit better against this, seeming like he has, but it's because of his item progression.
Speaking of this big man, he's going to be in a spot of trouble here. He's going to pop the ulti immediately with his Voodoo. He's going to get glimpsed back, but it's not to the right position. Game Reaper's there, though, to close the gates. Not too bad. There's also the kinetic field. Is it going to be enough? Nice armlet toggle coming through from Voodoo. He's going to stay alive a little longer, but he does get popped by the Ursa eventually. And now Sin 5, they've thrown in some backup, and now they have to immediately disengage and make sure nothing else happens. Now Axe walks on in, gets a cheeky kill onto the Tidehunter into the back lines. And DJ Vega's out of mana, he can't do all that much else. And another dunk comes down. Lion hits the deck. Axe walks away with 2 kills, and he's going to be ecstatic about that. Ever so much closer to his critical blink dagger.
Yeah, I must say Top K rotations were really good, and then along came General Grootwors, and you know, not much left said. I mean, this Axe, that rotation just at the right time there, and obviously brilliant play by Mr. Voodoo. You know, getting that Omnitop Wolf. Unfortunately, not enough. He did go down at the end, but.
Oh no, and OD getting a little bit too close here. Game Reaper helping himself, but it's not enough. OD actually manages to walk away with a counter kill before going down.
Yeah, like I said,
Sucker
Jeez,
punch.
sucker punched, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think Odie comes out on top on that. I'm sorry.
Well, he does get the first kill, so he
Yeah.
does get the experience for it. And of course, the kill on OD is not shared because, I mean,
No,
Timbersaw
it's
went
definitely
down.
not shared. So, I mean, Odie comes on top of that, and jeez, I mean, having an Odie at level 8 with, you know, actually, he's not going for Astral Imprisonment, so he's purely going for that, you know, heavy damage, and it's a really good build against this Timbersaw. I would have liked, you know, my view on your disables and your escapes. I always like to have a value point in it just for that escape, but I think he did very well.
Not necessary if you're up against a Timbersaw who has missed his Timber Chain. Gets put to sleep. General Grootwors gets into position. The sleep now on Outworld Devour. Fling Flang needs to take that off, and he does eventually. But there's that kinetic field, that strength of the Disruptor, who is now starting to max his glimpse. I couldn't agree with him more. And unfortunately, he's just very low on levels for this 10-minute stage of the game.
Yeah, he is very low on levels, but I mean, that's to be expected. I mean, they did rotate everywhere around the map, so he
Just,
didn't really
yeah.
get his levels that way. So he's going to have to catch up somehow. For me personally, I like levels on a Disruptor. It
You need
does-
to you
yeah,
need them. Absolutely.
You do need them, but I mean, early game high levels on Disruptor can be extremely devastating, and you should know because you play the hero quite often.
Well, out comes the glimpse. It's not going to be followed up by kinetic field as it is not quite where they landed him. Oh, but Game Reaper says, it's okay, throw a bit of nuke damage. I'll finger whoever's deeping in down. And Bane doesn't even get to see the light of day before he hits the deck.
It's like, excuse me, nope. No, but that's just the power of that hectic nuke early game. I mean, that's a 600 damage nuke at 10 minutes. That is massive. It does look like we're going to see, shame, that poor Ogre Magi just absolutely got blown up there. So, yeah, I mean, it's going really well for them. And like I said, they're going to be very aggressive early. I mean, we've got an early blink on that Ursa. We've got heavy initiation there for that as well. We've got a Tidehunter Ravage still in play at the moment. We've got a Disruptor. Glimpsing
there it
back
is.
this OD. Shame, I think he is pretty much dead here. There's not much there's not much left to say. I mean, they're steamrolling. They're absolutely steamrolling.
That's what the lineup is built to do.
Yep.
You can't take them on 5 because of that very heavy team fight from the Ravage of the Tidehunter. DJ Faker was happy to take on anybody at 1v1 situation. He's happy to take on the team fight as well now with the Blink Dagger up in tow and, of course, the Morbid Mask. This is what the lineup's designed to do, and Top K are playing it right. Now,
Yeah,
the
they
ball
definitely are.
is in the hands of Sin 5. What would you do if you were sitting in the position of the captain here? There is a Blink Dagger up and ready on the Axe, but again, he doesn't really want to get in there.
No, he doesn't. I mean, when you get in there, you've got a Ravage to worry about, and it does look like the Tidehunter is going to get ultied, but like I said, it's going to... Oh my god, the Ravage comes out as well. This is a huge team fight here.
Yep, and the stun's good. Out comes the Axe. It's a good dunk. In the meantime, Aghanims are trying to make a hasty escape. Sin 5 are doing it. They've managed to walk away with this fight, and they've taken Aghanims' heads as well. And that is the end of that. Porter and Melkis are the only ones left standing for the side of Top K, and that is the effect of the Axe with the blink.
Yep, it's pretty devastating, but I mean, I must be said, the Bane getting in that ulti at the right time, and then Ursa jumping in and trying to, well, did successfully kill that poor Bane, but I mean, going behind the enemy tier 2 like that, just to pick off that Bane, it kind of, you know, cost his team because he wasn't there to do the damage for him, and then obviously the Ravage to follow, so... Pretty devastating fight. I mean, having your carry go behind the tier 2 there.
Game Reaper spots out Axe here on the sidelines, does get slept up. Unfortunately, up there's the silence. It's good on OD. Completely countered if he is silenced. He does start to make a hasty escape, gets glimpsed back, doesn't have the Astral Imprisonment, and he will go down. Game Reaper walking away with yet another kill here. And that should be that. Things should calm down, but it does buy us a moment to take a look at what happened in that replay. Right, taking a look at that fight, you could see right there when the Tidehunter pops that ulti, immediately the fight has changed. And there's your first dunk from Axe. Axe walks away happily to go on chasing Aghanim's. Aghanim's trying to make that escape. He drops low, and yet another blink dunk coming through from the Axe. So he's very, very happy with that result, and quite rightly so. I mean, things went absolutely pear-shaped, mostly because of that blink. In the interim, however, Timbersaw walks away with a kill on the Alchemist. And Rosh is the call for the side of Top K.
Yeah, but like I said before, I mean, the Bane initiating into Axe Blink call, it was nice, it was cute, but then it forced Vega to jump in and blink behind the enemy tier 2 tower to try kill the Bane, leaving his team very vulnerable and them kind of panicking. So, I mean, the Tide got his Ravage off eventually, but it didn't really make a difference at that point since, you know, Axe got the first dunk on that Ursa.
But, just such a spectacular effect as soon as that guy
Dire's
comes
bottom
online.
tower
Get
is
it
under
up
attack.
in their face.
Radiant's middle
Despite
tower
the fact that
is
you and
under
I
attack.
both say, well, even taking them on 5 is incredibly risky to kill that rabbit. Despite that,
Dire's bottom tower
They
has
did, but
fallen.
they were also scattered at that point.
Radiant's
so, I
middle
mean,
tower
it was a
is under
perfect
attack.
time to go on them. And I think Sinister 5 kind of showing,
Dire's
yeah, they've
bottom
still
tower
got teeth
is
and they
under
can still
attack.
bear it.
yes, certainly. In the meantime, though, Tower's slowly starting to smoke. And DJ Vega pulling them with the Aegis of the Immortal Elemento.
Radiant's middle tower is under
They do
attack.
smoke up, though, so it looks like they do want to take a piece of this fight. They're going to probably pick up Game Reaper, who again is somehow behind the enemy line. And yeah, that should be it. Nope, Blink Blank does spot him out. There's the ulti, and down comes the dunk from the Axe. He's going to charge on in. There's the call. Goodbye, Disruptor. One red-handed man to the other. And Fodder now in the sight of this rampage. Will go down after picking up the kill, and they want to make this converted into not 3 but 4 kills. Unfortunately, they're chasing dragons as Timbersaw is just too quick on his feet, but they will find DJ Vega, who greedily stops to farm up some creeps. Ill-advised, and down he goes. He will be getting back up, but I don't think General is going to be all that worried. There is a call available, but it does miss. The quick fingers of DJ Vega means he does manage to blink out in time. The body blocks are good there from General Grootforce, but there is nothing else to be done. The dunk mix doesn't quite connect. A nice ulti coming through from Melkys, but there is no follow-up. If there was just a slight little bit of follow-up, he would have been absolutely ecstatic. They would have walked away with a 4-man counter kills. Game Reaper now dropping very low as he does burn to death as well. Gets glimpsed back General Grootforce, but it's all for nothing as the stun flies out as the final foray from the boys of Sin 5. And boy, do they want to take this game away from Top K.
Yeah, and they definitely are playing their lineup. I mean, using the Bane in such a good way at the moment. Leaving him to essentially disable the one. Axe uses his dunk, and then he's free up to use his call for the next hero. So not stacking disables like that really bought them a lot in that fight.
Yeah, certainly, and that's a pretty standard gameplay rule. Don't stack your disables.
Yeah, but people still tend to do it. Like they'll use call.
Top K is gonna go for the blood themselves. They walk on in with a nice fat Ravage. Does secure Bane's head, and in comes the glimpse onto Cloud. Cloud now on the spot. Oh dear, he's gonna have to get on out of there. Very tight for him, and Arcane Orb is not gonna be enough to secure his life. Ursa walking away with the kill on the Outworld Devourer. That was a 2-man rotation. Very nicely done to the side of Top K.
And they needed something. They needed some kind of, fight to bring them back in, because they've lost the last 2 team fights. So they'll maybe potentially be able to push this tower. The OD is down for another 30 seconds, so this should be an easy tier 2 for them, and it's something they really do need right now. One does get glimpsed back. They are opting to maybe back off here. I don't see why. Yes, Ravage is down. You do still have your Disrupt ulti off, and you've still got your Lion ulti, but they're up to essentially leave the tower alone. It's in deny range at the moment.
Like,
it's in deny range.
Why leave it like that? What are they chasing that is so important? Okay, they see the Alchemist in the top lane, but I mean, immediately he's going to start deeping out. The second they leave a free tower on the deck, you know that they're up to some nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, they could potentially go for that tier 1 now because Glyph was used. So they could have maybe just rotated since, okay, well, that one's going to get denied, but let's go for the tier 1 rather. So, I mean, remember, no backdoor protection on tier 1 towers, so they could have opted to get 2 towers instead of 1 there.
Okay, so taking a look at the graphs, XP-wise, Sin 5 in the lead, not surprising since they are also doing pretty damn well in terms of splitting the experience in just the right spots. In the meantime, though, on the net worth graph, you can see that 3,000 gold lead, but they do have an Alchemist, so the truth of the story is that that graph is skewed by the fact that this Alchemist obviously has his Grievil's Greed. Essentially, that's more or less even. The Alchemist maybe should have a little bit more than what he's got, but he's not doing badly at all.
Okay, let me put perspective here for you. You've got an Armament Radiance, 2,600 in the bank, plus your Soul Ring at 19 minutes on an Alchemist. I would say he's pretty fat.
He's doing pretty well, but what I'm saying is the net worth graph is not
reflecting it.
Of it.
Yeah. It's probably because he hasn't got that much last hits behind him.
It means his friends are not as big as he is by miles and miles and miles. If you take a look at AVB, still running around with nothing but a Windlace and Arcane Boots, fling-flang. A sorry state of affairs. The Gauntlets of Strength, Boots of Speed, and that one little stack of Infused Raindrop left.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're forgetting they've won a few team fights now. I mean, they've got an Axe who's absolutely snowballing in this game now. Almost got his 4-staff as well, so he can go, okay, I'm going to blink call the team and then 4-staff back, and you'll all have to follow me into battle. So, I mean, it's really good, but I think something needs to change here for the side of Top K. They were doing really, really well. And all of a sudden, they just lost one fight, and, well, now 2, 3 fights. And they brought it back kind of a little bit, but again, I honestly think not having that early mech up on your side and opting to go for that blink first is kind of a mistake.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mistake, yeah.
They could have sustained more in the team fights if they had an early mech.
Early mech,
but
yes.
they opt to go for the mech on the Disruptor, which is interesting. It's very interesting.
Actually, I would have put the blink on the Disruptor and the mech on the Tidehunter, because I mean, honestly, for the positioning side of things, you've got other heroes that can assist in getting the Tidehunter into the right position without having him expend that money doing, it's just getting a blink.
Fing Fang being the spy this time around.
Yeah, for once, Game Reaper does not take that prize for once. Nonetheless, we shall see how things pan out as DJ Vegas still looking very, very strong. Are they going to wait for the next Aegis before making the next big move?
Possibly, but I think they need to pick off 1 or 2 heroes before they decide to rush, because, getting into a blink axe call with, you've got OD dropping the base with, Sanity's Eclipse. It's going to be devastating if they get caught out by that at rush. So I think they'll need to pick off a key hero first before they decide to do that.
Game Reaper's smelling them out. Oh, nice blink initiation there from Porter. It's not bad at all, and it does set up a great little Static Storm there, beautifully done, and that's going to be 3 down for the side of Sin 5. Sin 5 on the retreat, and quite rightly so. That went by in the flash of an eye. Damn, that is exactly what this lineup is designed to do. That is exactly what they should have been doing this entire time. Just catch them immediately with their pants down, blink on in, get your Ravage going, set up the team fight, set up the Static Storm and Kinetic Field for the Disruptor, and that is it. By that time, everything is dead.
Yep, it was definitely a very clean team fight. They comboed up very, very nicely there and easily picked off 3 heroes, and now they can opt to go rush. But unfortunately, because it's so early in the game, the spawn time is not that big. So they're gonna have to do it yet again. But the big team fight ultis are down. They're gonna have to watch out here. They don't really have an escape or an answer for initiation right now. So I don't think rush is the best idea.
So they're going to settle for just the 3 pickoffs. It is a fair pot of cash that they walked away with there. And we can take a look at that. But before we do, there is a fat smoke coming through here from the side of Sin 5. They're going to be looking for a little bit of blood of their own as they know that the ultis are down. They're watching their clocks. And immediately they're going to get spotted out by Porter. Porter's going to try and make a run for it. Doesn't manage to get away. There's the call. And the dunk misses, but he's dead nonetheless.
Yeah, they expended quite a bit for that pickoff. It is a Tidehunter, Kraken Shell, RNG Jesus. So, Yeah, well, let's go look at the replay of that fight. I would love to see it up close, you know, first before they decide to do that.
Game Reaper smelling them out. Oh, nice blink initiation there from Porter. It's not bad at all. And it does beautiful ulti coming through from that disruptor, and that is exactly what it's supposed to happen. There was no turning back for any of them. Unfortunately, they couldn't have converted it into anything else. The glimpse was being searched for, but nothing really worked out nonetheless. They do find Lion here. Game Reaper finally caught with his pants down. He survives long enough to get a cheeky impale off, but nothing else as he slowly melts to the Ogre Magi's ignite there.
Yeah, he did melt, and it is a lion, so I mean, he's not got that much HP to his name, but it's a bit unfortunate, kind of treading a bit dangerously there in the enemy jungle. He did try put up that ward on the hill there. I suspect that's what he was doing in the enemy jungle, but
They must know that, though.
yeah, they must know. They've got vision of their own there. If you look on the mini map, they've got vision of their own there. But also, as a support, you do not go warding without your team. If you're going into the enemy jungle or anywhere on the other side of the map, you ward as your team is rotating there. Because 9 out of 10 times or 8 out of 10 times, if you go ward as a support on the enemy side of the jungle, you are going to get picked off and you're just going to die for your efforts.
Speaking of picking things off, Top K is going to be looking to pick something up in the form of Rush here and pick up a nice fat Aegis, but I'm pretty certain that General Grootforce is going to walk on in and find something. No, he's just picking up the rune, and immediately his illusion's going to scout it out, so they know that the attempt was going on. But unfortunately, they're not going to be able to capitalize on it. If only he went in and checked, he might have actually walked away with a nice cheeky two-man pick-off.
They could have, and all their ultis are up as well. So, I mean, both teams are essentially ready to fight.
Yep, certainly. BKB up and running on Ursa, and that is going to be 10 seconds of magic immunity, and that he's been looking for that item for quite a while. Quite essential for this guy who does get kited about the field.
Yeah, but it's not going to help him against Bane. Yeah, it's
Well,
going to help him
unfortunately.
against. It's going to help him against getting his blink cancelled. It's going to help him against all those good things. But if Bane catches the Ursa out, he can effectively negate the BKB.
Yes, most certainly, and that's really going to be Bane's role here. They needed a BKB penetrating disable, and they opted to go with the Bane here in the form of the Fiend's Grip, but still, I feel it could have been something else.
And it does look like they might walk away with a free rush here as well.
No, they're getting
but they're
pinged
going to
out.
take an Age of Man to take this down. They need some form of damage, and here comes Alchemist in. But I don't think the side of Top K knows they're in rush at the moment. They did just use the scan, so now they do know. They are actually aware that they're in rush, but we do have the two main team fighters on the sidelines here.
Taking too long. The side of Top K is taking a major man to get in there. It's taken longer than Sin took to take down the Aegis, so I guess they walk away with a free Aegis. Not quite free. Ogre Magi is going to pay the price. Immediately the call is there from Axe, but it's too late. Melkis has already popped his ulti. It's good. There's the Ravage. It's nice. It's going to be enough to get everybody stunned up there. All of the remaining players. Cloud now dropping low. He's going to go for the Astral Imprisonment. Flinkflang's going to hit the deck, and now Cloud's got nowhere to run as the Disruptor makes sure of that with a kinetic field. Voodoo, though, happy to take a fight, and there he goes. He's going to start fighting away on to Disruptor. Yep, he's immediately taken down by the Axe. The dunk is good as the buybacks come through, and the Outworld Devourer is back into this one. Porter now dropping low. There's the Axe dunk. And again, another great kill for General Grootforce. And beautifully team forward. Aghanim now playing silly buggers with them. General Grootforce getting close enough for the call. It's good enough for them. And unfortunately, Aghanim's happy to take this fight. He's pretty damn tanky. He's just impossible to take down. DJ Vega looking to get involved again, yet on the sidelines. So close to death is Axe. And he does manage to get on out of there as the Outworld Devourer gets involved and takes down the Ursa before anything else can happen. Aghanim going for the deny. And that is the end of that. Surely
Did you see
no more.
that? Did you see how much damage Cloud was doing to... Oh, Game
come
Reaper getting
on.
that cheeky little pickup on the side. Oh, but did you see how much damage that guy did? I mean,
Yeah.
no one could touch that Timber Saw. He was just like, okay, you can hit me, it tickles. Along came Cloud, and he just melted. So, Odie doing so much work versus that.
And that's specifically why they picked him up, I suspect. Nonetheless, here's your kinetic field. Is it going to set up something? Aghanim going in for the kill. There is the ulti as well. It's not going to be enough for Melkis. Oh, finally, they do manage to take him down after many a glimpse. And now Ogre Magi is going to probably be joining him in the grave. Game Reaper tanking the stun, but he's happy to watch him die as the Ogre Magi hits the deck. Now, Timbersaw put to sleep on the sidelines, and that's going to call an end to the chase to the Bane.
And unfortunately, he had to use his Bloodstone charge there. But I mean, better suicide than die. I mean, there was really good play from him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a whole lot you're denying, not just the gold and the experience, but also just the simple satisfaction of taking this ugly bastard down.
Yeah, and he's got a killing spree to his name, so it's an extra amount of gold for whoever kills him. So, I mean, I would have denied myself as well in that situation.
Taking a look at the item progression, Ursa going for an Aghanims.
Oh yes, and we love that Aghanim Septon, don't we?
Certainly. Well, it helps out. It's certainly not a bad item. I don't know if it's the right item for this game, though.
I think it's the right item for this game. It like reduces his cooldown. You know, it multiplies his fury swipes a bit longer as well. So, and it also it gives him extra damage as well. So it's a very good item for this, and it gives him stats along with it. And I don't think it's a bad item choice here, and especially since it's still very early into the game, and he already has his Blink Dagger and his Blink Dagger and BKB up already. So, I mean, I'm going to see an Ags into maybe a Satanic into maybe a Abyssal Blade, that sort of thing.
Well, that's my point. Don't you think you could have rather gone for one of those instead of going for the Aghanims first?
I don't know. He's doing pretty well, and it does give him stats. It does make him survivable. So, I mean, it reduces cooldown and allows us to use Enrage while disabled as well. So, the cooldown reduction, the fact that he can use his Enrage while he's disabled and stunned, which he keeps getting disabled and stunned, let's be fair.
Oh, Aghanim spots him out. He does ping it in, and they're going to spot out Cloud, who immediately has to peel off to another direction. Game Reaper on the sidelines there. If only he knew he was teeping out, he could have stunned it, and unfortunately it's not the case. The vision just wasn't there for Game Reaper. And unfortunately, that is the end of that. So, close, but no cigar.
Yeah, I don't know, what do you think about this Ursa? This Ursa's Ags. I know you're not that much in favor of it, but just remember that he takes 80, I think it's 80% less damage with Aghanim Scepter as well. So, I mean, it like also debuffs him, so it's essentially a free Guardian Greaves as well.
I think the rationale behind this one is more the ability to use the Enrage while disabled, more than anything else.
But it's also the Bane. He can also, negate the Bane a bit as well. He could have opted to also go for Linken's. That could have given him some nice stats and some mana regen.
I think Linken's wouldn't have been the right way to go. I think maybe if there was another option, maybe go for one of those stunner items. You could have started on your Abyssal, or perhaps go for an MKB, something like that. Not that MKB is absolutely necessary with the lineup you find yourself up against.
Well, it kind of is. It will stop the Radiance from doing Radiance, things.
Yeah, and certainly that was another option available to him. Nonetheless, that's the choice he went with. And the choice for Sin 5 is to take this tier 2 tower while they know that Top K was kind of sitting in the top lane. And speaking of top lane, Voodoo taking a piece out of Aghanim. Aghanim happy to say, okay, all right, we'll take a little bit of nuke damage. Your ulti's run out. Time for me to go. Everything quiet on the western front, but this middle front is absolutely a mess as Disruptor walks away with him. 1 kill on the Bane. He's going to be happy about that. And in the meantime, stunned will be Aghanims. And the good old Ogre Magi trying to make a hasty escape. Gets spotted out. There's the glimpse. And that's going to convert yet another kill thanks to the glimpse of the Disruptor. I think this is the 4th or 5th kill that Disruptor is directly responsible for. So that's a 3-man pick-off for the side of Top K, and it wasn't all that expensive either.
No.
Yeah, they blew off a couple of ultis. They blew the Disruptor ulti as well as the Ravage from the Tidehunter, but they can still push on.
Yeah, well, I think it's mainly for the thing about Cloud being out of position there, Ogre trying to save him, and then the supports just, get picked off one by one, trying to save their core. That's classic. They're just on the enemy side of the map for a bit too long there. And we do see Ashivas come out here for the Tidehunter as well as the Alchemist.
Yeah, well, the Alchemist is trying to ensure that he has the right-click superiority within the fight, even if he doesn't have the Chemical Rage up and running.
No, definitely.
But obviously, I mean, it's counteracted by the Tidehunter. If you're slow, I'm slow too, it's not a problem. Tidehunter picking up Shiva's Guard is a classic pickup. Usually because he wants to be right in the middle of the enemy team anyway,
I don't
so
know,
it
I
doubles up on the damage.
I think the Shivas for the Alchemist, it's nice. It's nice. I mean, it does allow him to slow the enemy team by about 40%, so his Radiance does a bit more, even if he's not right-clicking.
I would have preferred it on the axe.
Yeah, on the axe. Yeah, I think it would have been better on the axe. I was about to say that, but on the Tidehunter it makes a lot of sense. But it does allow that Alchemist to kind of chase down his heroes for a little bit longer.
That was incredibly slow. I've got to say that blink in from the axe there probably could have walked away with the kill. And immediately, Porter kind of knew it was coming, and that's thanks to this ward over here, saving his life. The moment the smoke was broken, he knew he had to get on out of there. But I think that could have been a nice, easy kill for Sin 5 on a rather essential hero if the axe just blinked a touch sooner.
Yeah, I think he would have gotten away nonetheless, but we do see a kind of a little engagement here, and I do think they're going to try push up here. It's going to be a hard one, but Tidehunter Ravage is down. It's only down for another 8 seconds, though. So this is kind of a risky push here, and it does look like opt to TP
No one
out
saw
and
that,
rather
Game
top.
Reaper. No one saw that.
No one saw that.
No one
Don't
saw
worry.
that.
But
It's okay.
Why did you make people know just now? I was trying to. Oh well, boys and girls, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Game Reaper. Well said.
Right, it's 23-16 and 24 minutes in. Top K looking strong, but there's a long, long way to go, I'm afraid, with 34 minutes. Their lineup is not really all that designed to outcarry. Right, well, the Aghanim sitting with the 15 Bloodstone charges, the Pipe of Insight as well. That's going to help with the magical damage coming out from the side of Sin 5. But if they're not careful, they're going to get sidewinded here. DJ Vega getting a few right-clicks in on an illusion of all things. What a shame. Surely not. Why? Why did he do that? Now Flink Flang is left there on his own. He's the last man to TP out. They might be able to catch him. Nope, not going to catch him. But DJ Vega kind of giving away the golden goose. I suppose they perhaps didn't know that the whole side, well, 3 of the boys of Sin 5 were there, way out of position. In the meantime, towards the bottom lane, DJ Vega doing what he can to hold on. Right.
Right, I am back, boys and girls. Sorry, there was a bit of technical issues. There was a battery change that had to happen. But yeah, there was...
What are these Egyptian hieroglyphics?
All right, guys, sorry about that. I'm going to go a little bit quiet for now. Yeah, for me, like, as I was saying before, sorry, boys and girls, I don't know, for me, like, the Aghanim Scepter is going to be up really, really soon on that Lion. So that's going to be devastating comboed up with the lovely Static Storm there. Guardian Greaves now up on that, on Mulkeys, on the Disruptor. So it's going to be great. I'm going to love to see that combo. And letting it stack up with the Tidehunter Ravage, it's, jeez. I mean, no one's got BKB as of yet on the side of Sinister 5. So it's going to hurt immensely.
Yeah, and on that note, a BKB carrier for the side of Sin 5 is usually this guy here, the Outworld Devourer. He's opted to sink his farm into the Hurricane Pike. Like I said in the previous game, it's a classic item for this character, the Outworld Devourer. Does benefit from the intelligence gain as well as from the mobility that the Hurricane Pike can buy you. And of course, the ability to just whack 5 free hits at any range is really, really helpful for someone like the OD. However, he's going to be missing that BKB. He's got $1,500 in the bank, so he could start working towards it.
I'm just
what the hell else
surprised.
is he saving up for?
I'm just surprised that he doesn't have it yet, because I mean, you've got a Ravage, you've got a Disruptor, Glimpse, Kinetic Field, you've got, you know, his Static Storm, you've got Lion, who just does massive magic damage as well, and then, you know, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna be disabled permanently for 10 seconds of the team fight, and we do see a sneaky little maneuver here by by Voodoo. I
I'm
don't
not
know
sure
what's
if that was
going on.
intentional or not, but he mantis-styled
Yeah.
up onto the cliff. If it was intentional, well played.
Yeah.
If not, well discovered.
Oh well, it's one of those
It was
things we
taken
maybe
right.
yeah. One of those things maybe we'll never know about. I don't think anyone would admit if it was, you know, a faux pas. But it was quite cool to see nonetheless. Did you catch it on stream at least?
Yes, I most certainly did. And to our lucky stream viewers, there are plenty and plenty of giveaways. So if you're not there already, jump on in and check out the chat. There's a lot to be done on stream. Nonetheless, DJ Vega running around with the Vlads. and is just about ready to rock and roll. Has himself his town portal in case he needs to get on back, but surely they know that Rosh is up.
Of course they
and
know
ready
that
to
Rosh
rock
is
and
up.
roll.
Of
And
course they know,
they
but
did just use the scan as well.
yeah, they did just use a scan, but they weren't able to see that the heroes are there. So I think they're going to actually get a pick off here, since
Voodoo.
the scan didn't reveal where the team was.
Ah, Voodoo. So fortunate. There's the design. Yep, that's a good little
Oh.
initiation from Pora right in the middle of it all. And unfortunately, the silence only really landing onto the Alchemist. Alchemist regenerating at a rate of not, but Game Reaper's done his job well. He fingers him down and makes sure the burst damage is available to take him down. Nonetheless, General Grootvorst, God, down he goes. Timbersaw nuking him down with not one but two of his chakrams.
Yeah, and they seriously used everything on that Alchemist. I mean, they used the finger on the Alchemist.
Yeah, that finger of death.
They used the Disrupt ulti on him. They're trying to blow him up as soon as possible because he is actually one of the main damage dealers on the team right now, and he immediately buys back, so that's probably going to discourage them from maybe pushing the tier 3, but it could opt for them to go and take a rush pretty quickly. I mean, you've got your Vlads and your... Ooh, okay, and they opt to push the tower.
This is a good choice in my book. Out comes the buyback though, and they're not going to matter as Moga Magi hits the deck in the background. Now Flink Flank hitting the deck from the Ursa. There's the hammer, drops nicely for Odie, but there's very little else that he can do as the BKBs are up and running. Now stunned will be the Tidehunter. He's going to hit the deck as well. Aghanim Nines to make a hasty escape as Voodoo's just too damn big. In comes Cloud. He's going to pop him in the prison for a moment there, Aghanims, and that should be the end of that. Nope, he's going to get out, and Ursa will pay his price for him.
That's
Aghanim
Hurricane
getting out.
Pike.
Yeah.
Bad Hurricane Pike.
Yeah, I know. But Aghanim gets out by the skin of his teeth, and thanks to the participation, let's be honest, of Ursa.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate that Ursa took that heavy nuke damage. But as I said before, I would not have pushed that high ground just yet. I would have gone for the rush, because this is exactly what happens. They get a bit too overconfident. They start diving heroes in the enemy base, and they just lose all the advantage they just gained. It was a silly decision.
It was the buyback from Voodoo which really sank that ship.
No, but I mean, he bought back before they reached the racks. They decided to go up into the high ground, irregardless of, the Alchemist buying back. As soon as they saw that Alchemist buying back, we mean, okay, we're happy boys, we forced the buyback, let's go take Rush. Instead, they go and dive into enemy base and die for no reason. I mean, for me, that was a huge mistake.
They're just trying to capitalize on what they had done. Unfortunately, didn't quite pay off in the end. Sin 5 now owning the jungle of the boys of Top K, and Top K does not have the lineup in my books to really take this super late game. The later it gets, the more Sin 5 is expected to win. And on that note, let's quickly take a look at the graphs as the call comes through but doesn't land anything for General Grootvorst. Top K in the lead for XP, but I suspect the net worth is going to tell a different story, and it does, and about 2,500 net worth of a different story.
Yeah, and that's purely to the Alchemist, and also purely because they just got a 4-man team wipe and a rush as well. So, I mean, all the advantage that Top K tried to get, it's just negated by that team fight. It was a really silly decision to try push a high ground like that.
Well, we all make mistakes.
Yeah, we do, and I mean, hopefully we learn from them.
Yeah. One can hope.
One can hope.
Nonetheless, Top K is not out of it yet. They do still have a fair amount of damage on their side between DJ Vega and Aghanim, and it's a fair spread of damage. You've got a lot of physical, you've got a lot of magical nuke damage. Game Reaper contributes to that as well. Again, I don't think Aghanim is good. Oh no, you're gonna make me a liar. He's got 2,900 bucks in the bank and the point booster. Am I a liar? I called wrong, I'm afraid. He's likely gonna be picking up that Aghanim scepter. And again, I guess I'm lying. Ooh, nice glimpse. That might actually open up the gates, and I think it does. Top K, this guy, Disruptor, just bought them the chance to get in there free, scot-free, as the Alchemist is nowhere to be seen. Silence will be the Outworld Devourer. He cannot do much of anything if he's silenced. Immediately nuked down will be the Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi trying to buy the space for this man who hits the decks next, and that is the Axe. In the meantime, Odie trying to do what he can. Game Reaper hits the deck, and now the Outworld Devourer will be coming back. Eventually, Voodoo comes to join the fight. Open the doors, but only for a moment. The doors are now closed. You have to get out of there, Top K. DJ Vega trying to make a hasty escape. He's melting at a rate of knots, but the dunk is there. And good night. Axe says he picks up the counter kill. That is the end of that. 30-23, 42 minutes in, and just too much to say.
Unfortunately, the Alchemist didn't get off his BKB before getting glimpsed, but I mean, again, diving. Why do you need to dive the tier 4s when you can take a Rax and capitalize on that? You glimpse out the Alchemist, you kill off the 2 supports, and then you go chase the rest of the team. Objective, guys. Take the objective, take the Rax.
I'm sorry, but that glimpse really was very well timed.
It really
It
was.
was great. It was exactly what they needed. They just didn't capitalize in the right way, the side of Top K.
Yeah, they decided to dive again, which makes no sense to me. I mean, like I said, you pick off your 2 supports, the Alchemist has to run all the way back, his
Here
TP
comes
was
an axe
cancelled.
towards the bottom lane as the stun flies out from Voodoo. Aghanim now in a spot of trouble. He's stuck up in the sidelines here. He's going to try and do as much damage as he can before he goes down, I suspect. Stunned will be the axe. He chews down the cheese. He's going to be back to full HP. Aghanim dropping low. There's the dunk eventually from the axe, and Aghanim does hit the deck as Outworld Devourer, on a side note, just kind of rambles all over Game Reaper's Lion.
Indeed he does, but again he's whacking for a lot of damage, and that's what he's meant to do.
This
I mean,
is bad.
Oh, you wanna go on me? It's fine. I'll just hurricane pike you and hit you, and you can die.
Voodoo
So-
getting a bit aggressive. DJ Vega can't really get on in there, can't really take up that fight. And the tower is slowly but surely melting for the side of Top K. Their dreams and hopes for this cup aren't quite dead yet. Aghanim getting involved, and down will go the Alchemist, in fact. DJ Vega does get involved, and he does manage to get out enough damage to take him down. Cloud goes for the turnaround, but the initiation is so strong. There's a great counter initiation from the axe. The spins are fantastic. He drops the hammer, the OD, and that is a huge amount of damage. Porra in the meantime trying to make a hasty escape, not going to make it. And Aghanim's the last man left standing, but not for long. The triple kill for the axe. That's going to buy them that top Rax for sure.
Definitely.
Buyback comes through, however, and they do have to still watch out for Aghanim.
That was absolutely intense. Oh, and a 3-man stun coming out here from Game Reaper. And an instant finger onto that poor Ogre Magi. Game Reaper, you sneaky son of a gun. And we do get, and there's so much damage coming out from Aghanim as well. Could they potentially get another kill here? Odie
dunk.
dropping pretty low here. Oh my god, they're going to get the Bane as well. Odie's going to have to run it for his tail between his legs here. And poor Aghanim's getting slept up. It looks like they're going to make a hasty escape. But they are trying to catch up. Game Reaper is trying. He's got that Blink Dagger available to him, but
I'm
it's
not sure if he
not
wants to blink
advisable.
on
Not advisable at
but
all.
if he knew that Cloud was deeping out,
Oof.
that would have been it.
I'm sorry, but well defended. My hat goes off to Game Reaper and Aghanim. They defended those Raxes like bosses. I'm sorry, that
Absolutely.
should have been a Rax for the side of Sin 5. Well played to them.
Yep, and fortunately, that means I'm not a liar again.
You're not a liar. He
And-
couldn't get his Aghanim.
Yeah, Game Reaper's not going to have his Aghanims now.
But you won 4th a liar because he's got his point booster, you see?
I don't know, he could be building Eye of Scotty, sure. Nonetheless, here we are, 30 to 33, 45 minutes in. This is turning out to be quite a meal for both sides. Only one buyback left, and that is on Cloud. So the next mistake is really going to sink it for them. Let's take a look at the net worth leading the charts. No surprise, Voodoo at 37,000 net worth. And right behind him will be Aghanim, and not really right behind him, all the way down at 21,000 will be Aghanim. And it's to be expected as well. This is a character that tends to flash farm exceptionally. And he's been doing a lot of work. He's got 12 kills, 5 assists. Sorry, 12 kills, 5 deaths, and 14 assists under his belt.
And a
So
lot
he
of
should be rather
flash
large.
farming is easy for, the Timber.
Yeah.
You can blow up creep waves. Go, okay, cool,
Yep.
that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. But the only problem with that is that it doesn't really leave a lot of space for the Ursa to farm much. So that's the only problem about having 2 very greedy, well, actually now essentially 3 greedy players on.
Axe getting caught with his pants down. Way
Yeah.
down.
And it
I
does-
mean way down.
And it does look like that Ursa's got his nice little basherinos up. So, yeah, he just gets lucky bashes and goodbye axe. The attack speed, everything. So I think we're going to see Abyssal Blade come out now.
Some say luck, others say
RNG, Jesus. Some say luck, some say skill. But I mean, when I play axe, I spin a lot. When I play PA, I never crit. So go figure.
skill. Yeah, I guess you just don't know how to hit R on PA.
Hey.
No, it's just RNG. It's
Just RNG.
randomly generated chance, and it just happened to go really, really well. Nonetheless, DJ Vega leading the charge up into the high ground, has his BKB available. That's going to leave Cloud to throw
Don't
him
dive, boys.
in.
Don't dive, boys.
This time, I don't think they're going to be diving as hard as they usually do. There's the glimpse. It's not going to take him all the way back to from whence he came, the good old Voodoo, and now he's got problems of his own. This bottom tower is going to slowly but surely melt to this army of creeps here, and that's going to call somebody back in the form of, well, it actually ends up being Aghanim's. That means that they have to get the hell out of there, Top K.
Oh, they definitely do. They need to get the hull out. But again, like they're just struggling with this high ground here, and with the times that they could do it, they dived, but they didn't opt to do that this time. But I mean, they need those big team fight ults up, and it does look like they're going to smoke here, and huge item coming out here. We've got the Scythe of Vice for that OD. They do have a smoke coming out here as well. We've got a gem now on this Bane, so map control is going to go all the way towards them, and they do get smoke revealed. A cheeky DJ Vega in the trees there.
They're too smart. They know that DJ Vega is more or less there. They know that it must have been from the downs, from down that cliff, and that's going to force out the BKB from DJ Vega.
Unfortunately, because now it's going to be sitting at the 5-second mark.
Oh, smoke for BKB charge? Really worth it?
No.
I don't think so.
No, BKB charge is better, but now it's going to be sitting at the 5-second mark. So I mean, well, I think actually it might have been on 5 seconds before that. So, and a insta return smoke, nice initiation.
This time it is there. There's the Ravage. There's the finger. It's actually going to land onto that poor little boy in the middle there. It's not going to be enough, and out will Devour will hit the deck thanks to the side hunter in the end. Blink Flank goes to join his friends in the grave, and that was a very clean counter kills. Counter rotation.
Yeah.
The smoke was perfect. The initiation was perfect. And now they're just going to make it count. There are still 2 ultis available. That's one from the USA.
And there's a buyback on the OD, so if he wants to come back, and he can. He's got 60 seconds on the clock.
Can do it. Oh, mind you, General is ready to rock and roll. He's nearby and has a buyback as well.
Yeah, but their creeps are not there, so backdoor protection. GG, get wrecked.
Yep, and in the meantime, taking a look towards the bottom lane, Aghanims is dealing with Voodoo, who's just butchering Aghanim's buildings here, and he's just getting chased about. Aghanim's trying to do what he can in the meantime towards the mid lane, where the push was supposed to go. Things aren't going all that well either. Hext again will be the Alchemist. Alchemist just to tank, just doesn't go down. He will slowly just keep whacking away at the damn racks. Eventually he takes us down.
Ding, ding,
and
ding.
goodbye, he says, as he BKBs and TPs out. But that is indicative of the state of the game.
Oh yeah.
That, what you saw just there, that image of Aghanim, the biggest guy on the side of Top K, who deals an unbelievable amount of nuke damage.
Can't do a damn thing
Can't
to the
do a damn
Alchemist.
thing to the Alchemist. Alchemist just basically ignores him.
Come on, you've got Octarine Core, Manta, then you still got BKB and Chemical Rage.
Yeah, but my point is that
jeez.
that image is exactly the state of the game now.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's the state of the draft.
well, to be honest, Sinister 5 have been kind of losing a bit with the team fight scenarios, but they do seem to be the team that knows how to take objectives a little bit better than the side of Top K. This is possibly why they haven't dropped a game.
Possibly, and of course the fact that they've only been together for 2 weeks stands them in a very good state. Oh, but look at that initiation. It's good for Porter, and that's going to buy them a little bit more time to work with. The Aghanim is working nice and hard there from the OD. In the meantime, Minkies is trying to make a run for it. He's dropping very low. He's going to start melting to that Radiance. He's a dead boy burger. Nothing much he can do. Nope, he does actually manage to survive it. Wow, incredible. As Axe is now forced back from Aghanims. In the meantime, in the background, Hex flies out. It's going to be onto the OD as Game Reaper's sucking out a little bit more mana from the Axe, who does go down at last. As Aghanims has now taken a fair amount of damage. OD butchering it apart. And Porter trying to make a escape from the other side. There's the Astral Imprisonment yet again. Aghanim's dropping low. The chase continues. Out will Devourer going for it. Doesn't quite manage to get it just in time as Aghanim's gets a great little timber chain just off the mark. Oh, very tight indeed as, well, looks like Lion actually got out of there in the end anyway.
Yeah, he did. And I mean, if you see the next team fight, we will possibly see a nice little BKB come out for the OD. But I mean, brilliant play. And the fact that that Disruptor got out with nothing, still going back into that team fight on absolutely no HP and
That's
still
usually what
making
a
an
Disruptor
impact.
does, to
It's
be
just
honest.
such a cheeky hero. And I can see why you love playing it so much.
It is. It's just fantastic. You can have
Such
such
annoying
an
hero.
effect. You have such an effect from miles away, and the beauty of it is that it's not even you that does all the damage. All you're doing is mucking with their positioning.
Yeah. and
That's all you're
it's-
doing.
I mean, as we know, positioning, vision, all of that stuff, kind of wins you games in Dota. So, I mean, but this Disruptor's been playing very well, I must say. He's made me laugh quite a few times, and he's had some sneaky fountain glimpses, and you go back to your lane glimpses. So, yep. Do we
Yep.
maybe want to see a replay of that? I'm not sure. No replay. I'm sad.
Yeah, certainly. Well, Bora, taking a look at his farm. He's got himself a refresher orb,
Yes, he does.
and that's to kind of prolong the effect of his Ravage. But let's be frank here. His Ravage is going to have less and less impact the more BKB comes available for Sin 5.
I see an item on Timber, so you might want to look at. Come on.
I'm listening.
Dagon! I mean, this is possibly gonna be a nice little thing let's stack up with the Lion when Chemical Rage is down, since his BKB is now in 6 seconds, so it's not that long. So I mean, if they can get the Alchemist in time, if they can disable him in time before he gets his BKB off, they can essentially nuke him the hull down with Game Reaper, Finger, and the Dagon. So because he's essentially the biggest problem on the side of Sinister 5, but then how are you going to deal with the OD with now a fresh 10-second BKB at his back?
I see another item.
You see another item. You see, oh, Wilson is now officially a liar.
I am officially.
The Aghanim Scepter's up on that line. So what do I win?
Damn it, Game Reaper.
What do I win?
I'll give it to you later. Right, so Aghanim picking up that Dagon. I get what you're saying. He wants to nuke him down, but I suspect late level Dagon never really that great an idea. It's a set amount of damage. Sure, it's 800 damage. It's nice, but it's never really gonna be enough. You're talking about a guy who's running around with 2,700 HP.
Yeah.
He's happy to lose 800, and he won't because he has the magic resistance to back it up. But
Yeah, he
he's
does.
happy to lose that 800 and still continue because he's regenning it at a rate of knots anyway.
He is regenning at a rate of knots, but I would like to see maybe his attack speed increase a bit more.
Voodoo getting caught there. There's the glimpse. Oh, it was just perfectly timed there. There's the silence. It's not too bad. Alchemist now in a spot of trouble, and this time he is not getting out of there. And that is a critical kill. Let's see if he's got the buyback. He does. And he'd better hang on to it because
And
this would be
already-
the right moment to push.
And already that burst damage, that 600 burst damage, doing its work. So Aghanim Scepter is the way to go. It still gives him nice intelligence, it still gives him +3 to all attributes, and it still gives him 9 damage. So it's not a bad item, and plus it gives you essentially, you have an extra lion on your team right now, and a way more mobile lion. So, I mean, for me, it's a good item choice. It really, really is. I mean, he's gone for the team items. He's gone for his pipe. He's gone for that Scythe of Ice. He's gone for that Bloodstone. So everything that helps his team out. Plus, he's got his Aghanim Scepter up as well, so it gives him 2 chakrams. He's got his TP boots. So why not go for some nuke? I completely agree with this build.
Fair enough. Well, TJ Vega in the meantime. Not much item progression there, other than, of course, his Basher and 4 grand in the bank. He's probably saving it for something as Disruptor walks away with the kill here on the bottom tower. And he's
Buyback
running
and
around.
Abyssal. He needs buyback and Abyssal.
Nonetheless, there's the TPs. It's going to go towards the top lane. Game Reaper looking for a little bit of nonsense. He's going to find more than he can chew as he gets sheeped up and immediately popped. He's going to be a dead
He's
boat
got 1 HP. No, he's dead.
a dead boat burger. There's nothing to be done. OD walks away with a cheeky kill onto Game Reaper, but it does cost him that BKB charge as well as Aghanim makes the appearance. And that is the end of that.
That's
Another
so worth
2
it.
Dagon recipes ready to rock and roll, and it's going to be a Dagon 5.
No, that's so worth it. You got a line down for 80 seconds, and he's got no buyback. So if you want to go push now, boys, now's the time. Your Alchemist is up in 2 seconds. I do want to see some TP boots coming out of the OD at some point. Possibly also on the Ogre, to be honest.
The Ogre.
Yeah. I would get TP boots on your Axe, I would get TP boots on your OD and your Ogre. I mean, Bane, not so much. He's opting to go for that 4 staff of his own now to get himself out of trouble. I'm surprised we didn't see an Ether Lens come out from the Bane this time around. Yeah, to get into a safe distance where he can't get picked off while he ulties. But I suppose the Axe and him have been working really well together this game as well.
Well, there's 2 ways of approaching it, really, as the smoke does get popped here by Sin 5, and that's going to be Aghanim's fault, and they're angry about it. They like their smokes, and goodbye goes the Axe, and Timbersaw hits the deck. He's going to be dead for another 53 seconds, and that's going to be Bloodstone charges gone to the wind as well.
Yeah, he has got buyback, and he's got 4,000 gold in his stash with a full Dagon. So I mean, he can opt to buyback at any time. But he does, of course, lose all those all-important Bloodstone charges, so that's a bit of a disadvantage today. And he didn't get the chance to deny himself either.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, and it looks like Voodoo's actually opting to pick up Aghanim Scepters at this point for his friends. He's got 4,000 bucks in the bank, so he can continue. Oh, out comes the finger. It's cheeky from Game Reaper. It's not quite enough to stem the tide, so to speak. It does clear up the creeps at the very least.
And look, I mean, every single hero on the side of Sinister 5 benefits hugely from an Aghanim Scepter. So, I mean, now that Alchemist is getting farmed enough, he can definitely give an Aghanim Scepter away to people. But in your opinion, who would you give an Aghanim Scepter to first, considering what the ultis do on the side of Sinister 5?
Almost assuredly the Ogre Magi.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why do you think? Because of the extra stun, or?
It's one extra disable you can play with. It's that simple.
Yeah, but you also got Bane. Anyone who ever tries to disable the Bane automatically gets slept. I mean, Odie's
Anyone
ulti.
tries to attack the Bane.
Yeah, anyone tries to attack the Bane, yeah.
But you don't attack a Bane while he's ulting. You stun him. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
It's not really like when that Ags upgrade came out. I always thought to myself, I like Bane. I like Bane.
Yeah.
And then that Ags upgrade came out, and I was like, come on, like, could have gone a little bit better. I don't know.
I don't know, for me, I also like the axe, since it gives you a scepter cooldown of
That's
6.
That's another big
yeah.
big boost.
Yeah, it's scepter cooldown of 6 seconds if you do miss your dunk.
There
It
it
also
is.
increases the kill threshold.
Goes
so
to the Axe.
yeah, I would have given it to the axe as well. I would either the ogre or the axe. Like for me, it would have been the ogre or the axe. But it does look like they're trying to push up the high ground here. That double chakram certainly does help blow up any creep waves that come in. Do you think they were able to defend this nicely here? There is huge ultis on the side of Sinister 5, as well as a refresher orb now on the tide. And they've got the Guardian Greaves as well, but they do still have a 9-second BKB on that Outworld Devourer. So that's nothing. That's something you have to take into consideration.
Yeah.
He is whacking for quite a bit of damage.
What they desperately needed the side of Top K as DJ Vega goes on in. He's going to go for the chase. Oh, the Abyssal Blade is decent, but there it is. The Fiend's Grip onto the Ursa in the background. In the front, though, things are getting nasty as out come the BKBs, and that is it. The Disruptor has got no more team fight effect, and pop goes the Weasel. Outworld Devourer taking up the kill on the Ursa, and he's bound to pick up yet another one here onto the Tide Hunter, and that's it. It's all done and dusted. 3 down for the side of Top K as Sin 5 just walked away with possibly the game in hand. 40 to 35 at the 60-minute mark. It's been 1 hour, but it's been 1 hour of fun.
And a huge mistake from Ursa there is not leaving himself enough for buyback.
And also, again, going way deep.
Yeah, way deep, like diving. I mean, they've been knocking their heads against that mid racks for the last 30 minutes now.
Well, nonetheless, there's the glimpse. It's going to throw out Voodoo for just a little bit longer. OD is in there. The whole side of Sun 5 is here. The buyback comes through from the Tide Hunter, but it's not really going to matter all that much. He pops the Refresher Orb, so he does have the Ravage to set it up for everyone. But how the hell do you bust this down, General? Brute Force picking up a lot of damage here on the sidelines. Does manage to get fingered, but it's not enough to take him down. In the meantime, the Hex is good, and it's going to be on the Alchemist in the front lines. He's tanky as hell. Game Reaper trying to get the stun going. There's the initiation from the Tide Hunter on the sidelines there. It's going to get them low into the back lines. It's not going to be enough, though. Aghanim melting away under Voodoo. Voodoo doing it. They're just too big, the side of Sin 5. They're just too damn big. Down comes the dunk from the Axe, and that is that. Finish up the racks. Walk away with the victory in all likelihood.
Yeah, Voodoo is pretty much unkillable right now, and he dropped really low, and he's still. Oh, jeez, look at the damage. I think Aghanim might get away here. That Dagon doing a lot of work. One more nuke, and he misses. Unfortunately, misses that timid chain.
In the meantime, in the front lines, dying will be the Ursa yet again, and like you said, no buyback, and that's another problem for the side of Top K. And that was not good play at all from the Ursa, getting up in their grill against 4 of them, and you still can't even kill one of them. No,
this poor. I just feel sorry for Aghanim. I mean, he's been trying the whole team fight. It's been him and the Alchemist going up against each other.
And GG, well played is called, and it's well deserved to the boys of Sin 5. They've shown you today what they actually are made of. They have lost the game for the first time in this tournament.
Oh, they did.
Sin 5, but they've just brought it back. It's now equalized. This is going to be a best of 3. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. And there's a long, long way to go. It's 1 game left, and that will decide who's going to be the winner for this tournament. I would suggest hanging on to your seats because they're about to go flying. What a game.
Yeah, it definitely was a spectacular game to watch. But I mean, for me, it was more the fact that they kept diving, they kept knocking their heads against the same racks, keep making the same mistakes. Clearly, it wasn't working. So I mean, I don't know why they did that, but I was just laughing the entirety of Aghanim and and Voodoo going up against her the whole time. I mean, the moment Voodoo gets a bit of damage when he gets Alchemist like this low, then okay, BKB's popped and it's refreshed. Then okay, now he's got his ulti all of a sudden again,
Yeah.
and, you know, and just that Octarine core doing so much work as well. So I mean, Alchemist was essentially unkillable, you know, one-on-one. They needed more than just the Timber to kill him. It's just, what are you going to do
What are you
against
gonna
it?
do?
What
I
are you going
mean,
to do?
Look, I honestly think it just came down to the draft. They had to finish it early. The
Yeah.
side, well, Game Reapers boys. I say Game Reapers boys. Top K had to finish it early. Yes, the Timbersaw gets huge. Yes, he nukes the living bejesus out of most people, but it's just not going to be enough. And never is it going to be enough. Nonetheless, that was game 2, and we have one left for you. And I love finals that go 1-1.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's all on the line for the next game.
Yeah, I would really like to see something great come out. I mean, the draft that I thought wouldn't won. To be honest, I thought, okay, for me, there's two questionable picks in these two drafts. You've got the Bane on the one side, which really they are better heroes,
Yeah.
and then you've got the Ursa on the other, which isn't a very viable carry in this meta. It's got nice heroes to combo with and all that good stuff, but it's not as good to say as maybe picking a Luna or a Medusa or something like that. Yes, it can go down and spitball pretty early. It's what they wanted to do, but then the Axe came online with the Blink. You know, he created the space for the Bane to do what it's designed to do as well. So it's just two questionable picks. Just one worked out better than the other.
I suppose.
And obviously, you know, diving and not taking objectives.
So who's your man of the
work.
match?
Voodoo is definitely up there.
He just did what an alchemist does, and that's farm.
General Grootwors, also another playmaker. I mean, he swung that one team fight that just got Sinister 5 back into the game.
Yep.
He really
definitely.
did. So on my side, I think General Grootwors is one of the top players
If
there.
he gets that blink, he's sorted.
Ding. Yeah. For me, though, I would have to say Aghanim, hands down, player of the match for the side of Top K.
I can get behind that idea.
Yeah, I mean, he did really well. Yeah, he missed a Timber Chain or two, but who doesn't when they play skill shot heroes? Well, not skill shot heroes, but I mean, you know, we do miss a hook every now and again, or an arrow, or a Timber Chain. You know, you can't always land everything all the time, but
Absolutely.
I mean, he did so much work in that game. I think he's the man of the match for the side of Top K, and I would give General Grootwors the man of the match for the side of Sinister 5.
I couldn't agree more. Nonetheless, that's it for game 2. Do stay tuned. There is more coming up for both you guys on stream and anybody in game. Well, for now,
Data anybody?
Yeah.
Giveaways anybody?
anyone
Stay
want some
tuned.
free data?
Do you want some free stuff, guys? Then stay tuned.
Yeah,
Don't
stay
leave
tuned.
us.
Well, we shall see you guys for the final game. Cheerio for now.
Goodbye.